biathlon this year, being at the podium in the World Cup several times.
So what's the attraction for Lars Berger and Olli Einar Bjørndalen? What's the attraction for them to come from biathlon, where they're both in their own, well, Olli Einar Bjørndalen, unbelievable, arguably the greatest biathlete ever. One or two might disagree with that. And Lars Berger, who's really a fantastic prospect. What makes it so attractive for them to come across?
You know, David, that cross-country skiing has always been number one and the biathlon number two for Norwegians. So if they are able to also win a championship in cross-country skiing, that's great for them. It's also good training for them. They have a world championship in Hochfilzen in Austria in the start of March. So this is a very good competition, good training for them for that championship.
Markus Hassler from Liechtenstein, a man you know extremely well. In fact, there have been times when he got a few Norwegians worried.
Yeah, we had Markus in our team in the early 90s, and I also spent my summer vacation in a cabin for the family at the family hospital in Liechtenstein every summer. And he can be a good racer today. He was number 10 in the Reitenwinkel a little week ago. He started too hard. He was in the lead after 3 kilometers. He was number 2 after 8 kilometers. He promised me to do it a little bit slower in the start in this competition today.
Hassler is the only Liechtensteiner in the lineup, but to be respected. And I agree with you, this is the sort of course where he might really enjoy himself.
Yeah, in this race, and maybe even better in the pursuit in a couple of days.
And that's the first man home, Jonas Olsen for Denmark.
And up to 4.3 kilometers, Alexandre Rousselet is 5 seconds in front of Jan Egil Andresen. So the man from France is very fast after the first uphill.
Yeah, the French you've got, of course, Vincent Vito and also Jonier. But now a marker. This is going to be a marker for us. Lars Berger coming up to 4.3 kilometers.
He will take the lead, I think, but yeah, he's been very fast from 1.8 up to 4.3. He was only 2.3 seconds in front of Rousselet. But now it's 14 seconds.
Yeah, so really has put his pedal down, foot on the pedal as he goes up this hill. Still going up to the high point, 4.3 kilometers. So he's still on the climb. In fact, he keeps climbing all the way up to 5,000 meters, which is at 900 meters high. So it's remorseless. It's really frustrating because you keep looking at the horizon and you still don't arrive.
So it's just in the middle of that long, steep uphill.
And now you're seeing more of this.
He's very tall. He's more than 190 centimeters. And he's very strong in his legs, and he's very fast on the flat part of the course, but it's also very good in the uphills when he's in good shape.
Yes, and you get a little undulation at the 5 kilometer point, which is where he was, and the real descent starts at about 6 kilometers to the stadium. And Lars Flora just beginning to roll a little bit. That's the second of those two, the back two wearing 40. And the rhythm just beginning to falter there in his skiing.
I think we will see many skiers very tired when they're coming up to the 9.3 and even a little bit later.
And that's why these days, Inge, even though the races are spread out over 11 days, it's pretty well impossible to compete in everything.
I don't think so. I don't think the man that compete in everything until the 50 kilometer, the last day, will not win the 50 kilometer.
Roland Dietard for Austria. Now this is an interesting man from the Steiermark. Interesting in the sense that he had a really excellent race in Reitenwinkel, finished 5th, which was a lifetime best just last weekend behind Martin Bacicak. And he's what you call a player manager, because he actually coaches the Austrian sprinters and has been involved in doing that, although he's not going to sprint as far as I understand here. But interesting to see whether that performance from Roland Dietard in Reitenwinkel was a fluke, a flash in the pan. But in terms of time, he was only 27 seconds behind Bacicak, and in fact only 6 seconds behind Giorgio Di Centa. Now the Austrians who lost Christian Hoffmann sadly this afternoon, one of his main opportunities, Roland Dietard is the man who can try and make amends. And a huge cheer for Franz Göring, 20-year-old German, junior world champion over 10 kilometers freestyle last season in Norway in Strun.
And also a very good result up in Reitenwinkel last Saturday, number 6 up there.
Antal Zolt for Romania finds himself drawn in distinguished company.
Marcus Hasler up to 1.8 kilometers, 5.4 seconds behind Lars Berger and Jan Egil Andresen. That can be a good start for Marcus Hasler. Usually too fast in the first couple of kilometers. So
now things really hotting up now. The next starter, Ole Einar Bjørndalen. And what a moment for him, and indeed all the Norwegians. 4 times an Olympic gold medalist in 2002, not to mention the sprint gold that he got in 1998. 31 years of age, and can he do it? Can he get into the top 5 at least?
Yes, I think the top 5, but I don't think he will be at the top. He was his self-confidence had a little break, I think, in Waldefjell last Saturday. He also had 50 victories in biathlon this month.
And as Johan Olsen goes away, what makes Ole Einar Bjørndalen so special? What is so special about him?
He's very systematical in everything he's doing. He's buying his own shooting trainer, his own waxer, everything, invest in what is good for him to be even better. And even after all the gold medals in Salt Lake City in 2002, he tried to be only better and better and better in everything.
Bolshakov for the Russians, who we've rated as outsiders here. Not the women's team, but certainly the men. It would be a bit of a surprise if any of the Russian men came through on the evidence of what we've seen, but this will tell us. This opening race is always so fascinating. And just getting a check, Lars Berger at 5.8 kilometers, 17 seconds ahead of Rousselet. So he's still got his foot hard on the accelerator pedal, and he's opened up the gap there by, well, something like another 4 seconds.
But we also have Teemu Katlakoski from Finland, number 2 at 4.3 kilometers, only 3.5 seconds behind Lars Berger. So maybe that's not fast enough for Lars Berger so long.
Christian Zorro, known for so long as the great Italian sprinter, but he's really become the nearly man. Bronze medal at the Olympic Games in the sprint, and a silver medal in 2001, and a very disappointing 8th in Val di Fiemme in the World Championship sprint there, but somewhat rejuvenated this year. And here's our Brazilian man, and
it was start number 1, I think, in the in the finish line.
Yeah, sorry, Butchev Jovaneski.
Socher was the best sprinter for a couple of years, but these days he's better in 15 kilometers than he is in sprints.
Yeah, it's interesting that in the rankings he's in 16th place, which is not bad.
And we are waiting for that man, Göring up to the 1.8 kilometer. .8 seconds behind Lars Berger and Jan Egil Andresen, still leading up there. But then we also have Ole Einar Bjørndalen starting 1 minute behind Göring.
Chris Jeffries of Canada just rounding the corner. Ole Einar Bjørndalen now coming to 1.8 kilometers and chasing Lars Berger, and it looks pretty good.
And it's a very easy double poling, double bounce you'll say, for Ole Einar Bjørndalen. That would be a good technique here in these courses.
So promising start from Ole Einar.
It's a good run from Ole Einar Bjørndalen. I think he is a lot better today than he was in Reitenwinkel 1 week ago.
The world 50-kilometer champion from 2003, Martin Kukal for the Czech Republic. He's had a few problems since then. He's broken his arm, and that was in a sprint exhibition race in China. It's taken him a while to sort himself out. He's attached himself to a Swedish club, and we haven't really, I have to say, seen much of Martin Kukal this season.
But number 9 in Reitenwinkel a couple of days ago.
Janusz Kreslok, talking of sprinters, Kreslok, one of the best for Poland. Kreslok, who had success in the Trondheim sprint, very snowy Trondheim sprint in 2004, and just worth mentioning, in fact, that earlier on today, in the women's race won by Katarina Neumann-Over, it was Justyna Kowalczyk who finished a very decent 9th in that race. So maybe the Polish, who've got a very small squad, maybe they're going to be very effective. Interesting to see how Kreslok does. He's 30 years of age, like Justyna from Katowice, but he's been skiing at the highest level since 1995.
Up to 5.8 kilometer, Teemu Katlakoski from Finland only 2.1 second behind Lars Berger. So the Finn is still going a little bit faster than Lars Berger.
And just a reminder, if you've got any thoughts or questions, then please do send them to Inge and myself on ski@infovoice.de, and we'll try to guide you through. Now the start of the red group, Anders Södergren for Sweden. One of the hopes, one of the big hopes, together with Maddie Fredriksson, just outside the top 20 in the World Cup rankings coming into these championships. This 27-year-old from Östersund, a bronze medal last World Championships in the relay, and what a relay that was, if you can remember, Inge. The Swedes on their way to winning until Jürgen Brink had his blackout, but then they recovered to take the bronze.
He got a Brink, we say in Norway.
Yeah, he did. Jiri Magal for the Czech Republic, and you rightly pointed out that after Neumann-Over's success this morning, that Kukal, Magal and Bauer all to be treated with great respect.
I think the Italian can be a surprise today.
So you're switching to who? Giorgio Di Centa now?
Yeah, especially, but also Pietro Pille-Kotre.
Jens Philbrick for Germany.
And also Valbusa. I think Valbusa can also do a good race. He's been racing for many years and know how to peak his form.
I can't allow you to pick 10. That's not correct.
I can take 15, I think.
Jens Philbrick, bronze in the Olympic relay team with Germany, and a silver in Val di Fiemme for this 25-year-old. Girlfriend's actually Janet Klein, the German biathlete. Pietro Pille-Kotre on his way, and this man's also had some almost fantastic moments. The one that springs to mind actually was in Nagano in the 50-kilometer race, which was won by Bjorn Daly, where he actually skied off the track, dropped down into a ditch, lost so much time, but at the moment that he was doing that, he was really in contention, and then finished fourth in 2002. Now Tor Ruud Hofstad for Norway, and a real lively outsider, Hofstad.
He's a very good technician in skating. So in the courses here, I think he will be very good, because it's no problems with glide and so on, and it will be good tracks all around.
Now this is the moment that Christian Hoffmann of Austria should be starting, but as I said right from the beginning of the program, Christian, who we thought this morning had recovered enough to take his part, and the reason why I was so keen was that this was his best hope of the whole championship, but sadly he's got worse during the day and can't take his place in the starting lineup. But this man most certainly can. Giorgio Di Centa, 32 years of age, lives in Moena at the end of the Marcia Longa, in which he was so close to victory last season, the 70-kilometer classic race, but he's pretty effective in freestyle as well. An Olympic relay silver and 2 world relay bronzes already proudly in his display cabinet at home, but individual honours, those have yet to be achieved.
And the brother of Manuela Di Centa.
Indeed. And now Rennie Sommerfeld, very popular, this man. Germany's hero a year ago, won the World Cup, 30 years of age, from Oberwiesenthal in the eastern part of the country. Olympic relay bronze again for him in Salt Lake City, and of course the world silver medal in Lahti in the 50-kilometer freestyle. But Sommerfeld with knee problems, which we'll talk about when we see him a little bit more. Here's Lukas Bauer, the 27-year-old Czech, getting away. This man who won the double pursuit in Pragelato, the race course that they'll use next year for the Olympic Games. He won in Novo Mesto, became the first Czech man to win on Czech soil a couple of seasons ago. Toby Angera, I think if he can maintain his concentration, he could have a good run here. Another 27-year-old. His girlfriend, Martina Herbert, the number one German golfer in this country, supporting him all the way. Winner of a double pursuit race in the World Cup last season, but Angera getting better and better, much more an all-round racer these days. Rodchev for Russia. Disappointing, I have to say, Vasily Rodchev, one of the most promising juniors, but now 24, and although he's had a victory at 15 kilometers in the World Cup, that's been in classic style, and again one of so many who's yet to achieve an individual World Championship honor.
But not today, I think. He had to wait to later on in this competition. in these championships.
Now, we've heard very little about the Swedes, but this is Matti Fredriksson, the man who won the World Cup in 2003 from Östersund, was very much favoured to get a load of medals with Per Elofsson in 2003 at the World Championships. It didn't happen. All he ended up with was a bronze in the relay. 4th in the 50-kilometre race, 9th in the 30 kilometres, 7th in the 15 Classic.
And the Swedish commentators couldn't promise anything from Mattias Fredriksson today.
Vincent Vito, the number 2 in the World Cup rankings to Axel Teichmann, goes away. This man whose whole preparation has been under a cloud, having won the Novo Mesto freestyle race, the 15-kilometre freestyle race, positive dope test, then a negative one, but a great deal of uncertainty. And uncertainty also for Axel Teichmann. A downward curve in his form through January, then sickness a week ago.
Yeah, and we are not sure how sick he has been. Maybe he is in better shape than we thought a couple of days ago.
But I think everybody at home, we've all had a cold, we've all had flu. You know how it debilitates you, how weak you feel. And although these men are supremely fit and their powers of recovery because of their general fitness much greater than the average person in the street, well, we just have to wait and see. Martin Bacichak now for the Slovaks, the first Slovakian ever to win a World Cup race on the eve of the World Championships in Reitenwinkel. Was it a fluke or was it a real signpost for this 30-year-old from Srebski Pleso as he goes away? Nearly the whole field to go, and now it's Fulvio Valbuza. Valbuza for Italy, of course. His sister Sabina already in action earlier today.
Number 8.
And finishing, as you say, a decent 8th in the individual race. And 36 years of age, probably this season in Torino, next year, his last 2 competitive seasons. But Valbuza not also without a chance today in what is a very open affair. And now the last man to go for Russia, 22-year-old Yevgeny Dementiev, junior world gold medalist over 10 kilometers in classic form, that stride and glide, as opposed to today's skate. That was in 2003 in Sweden, and a gold medal in the relay team, and he's just getting better and better.
A young boy still, and it's not competing that much this season, so he can be outsider today.
But all his best work has really come in classic. But when he was a junior, he did get a bronze medal also in the Junior Worlds over 30 kilometers freestyle. But back to Mr. Björndalen, now being bettered by Hofstad.
Yeah, but that was a couple of minutes ago.
Just talk a little bit about the skating technique here, Ingo.
Yeah, the Germans are doing it a little bit otherwise than the others. They are standing more up on the skis, not bend so much in front, but they are very, very short in